Welcome this gentleman, the Honorable Zell Miller, to Georgia Championship Wrestling. Welcome aboard, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here not only in my official capacity as Lieutenant Governor of the state of Georgia, but I'm glad to be here as a wrestling fan from way back. I spent many enjoyable Friday evenings at the old city auditorium, and I've followed Georgia Championship Wrestling on television ever since. And I'm especially glad to be here today to welcome back to this state probably the most popular wrestler that's ever been on Georgia Championship Wrestling, Tommy Rich, and also to make him an honorary lieutenant colonel of the governor's staff of the state of Georgia. Tommy, we're so glad to have you back in Georgia, and I know I speak for your millions of fans when I say we wish you well and welcome back.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Miller. It's definitely an honor to be here, and it's a privilege to be standing here with you all. Thank you very much. It's good to be back in Georgia.
Thank you. You're a fine young man, and we're all very proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. There you have it, Lieutenant Governor Zell Miller presenting Tommy Rich as a colonel in the governor's staff, and certainly we're very, very thrilled and very pleased about this. We certainly hope you come back and visit with us again.
Thank you very much. Let's hold that out there, Tommy, so they can see it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll be back in just a moment. Carson, you've made the statement to me several times that you never interfere in a match.
That's right.
All right. Now then, several ringsiders have told me that in the most recent title defense that this man had against Dusty Rhodes, that you, in fact, did interfere. That you, in fact, grabbed...
Gordon, are you telling me now that you're sticking your nose in our business?
Well, I'm not sticking my nose in your business. I'm relating to you what ringsiders have told me.
Gordon Soley, I can prove to you and every person out there in the world that I had absolutely nothing to do with this man defeating Dusty Rhodes. I had absolutely nothing. I didn't move out of my seat one time, and I have on VTR. You can show it to the people right now if you want to. Exactly, I did not interfere one time.
Well, you told me that you had a minute's worth of film that you wanted to show today, and if that's what you want to show, let's take a look at what Mr. Carson is talking about. Let's see how well he can prove that he didn't interfere. All right, sir, now let's pick it up at this point. Dusty Rhodes out.
See, there's the fat boy out there doing something. He picked me up out of my chair, Gordon. Picked me up out of my chair. I was sitting there minding my own business. Now, watch this. Now, is that for real? Is that for real? Is it possible that a guy would stoop so low to come out and get a gentleman out of his chair and hit him over the head with a chair?
Well, apparently you had been interfering earlier in the match and had been agitating the man, and of course the referee trying to separate this situation.
The referee, how many men does my man have to fight at one time?
Now Dusty Rhodes caught him with there. Now 1, 2. Now what was the leg doing up here?
The leg was doing, my man put the leg over himself. Yes, sir, and that was not a pin. The referee right there was absolutely in the wrong.
Mr. Carson, now the way that has jumped, it was an obvious situation here of the bell being rung, but it was an obvious situation of film editing.
Gordon, here's a man that comes like a thief in the night, trying to steal something, along with the people backing him up. Now, I've heard you say different comments out here. Now, Dusty Rhodes has gone too far. He can't go this far. He's using everything in the book to try to defeat this man. It is impossible for one man to defeat the Mongolian Stomper, and I've proved that time and time again. I shouldn't have to prove it every day of my life.
Well, that was obviously a piece of edited film, sir. We did not see. It was clipped off before, I think.
You did not see anybody's leg over the rope, Gordon?
Well,
It was very clear.
Yeah, let me ask the ringsiders once again. They all said that they saw it happen. They saw you pick his leg up and put it on the rope itself.
Gordon, I'm standing here in front of the world, and I'm telling you that I sat right there in my seat until that fat slob came over there and picked me up out of my chair. That is the only thing that I did. Walked out there like I always do, the gentleman that I am. I did absolutely nothing. This man right here is the machine. This man's the 8th wonder of the world. He proved that with Andre the Giant, and he doesn't have to prove it with anybody else. But he proved it that night with Dusty Rhodes that he is the better man.
Well, all I can say, sir, is that the wrestling fans have never lied. And I don't believe they've lied to me now. I believe that, in fact, there was interference. And that's all the time we have for this interview right now. We'll be right back.
The time limit Introducing first from Lexington, Kentucky, weighing in at 220 pounds, Tony Anthony. His opponent from Nashville, Tennessee, weighing in at 228 pounds, Wildfire, Tommy Rich.
Tommy Rich, and here's a young man that, what can you say, from rather modest beginnings in life, he is truly the epitome of Americanism in action here. A young man who has come from a fine amateur athletic background, I might add, has attained that capability of getting into the ring. He not only relates extremely well to people, but he's a fantastic, as you can see right there, beautiful pickup. And so he's giving this young fella all of the opportunities in the world. Drop to hold, float over. Front chancery by Rich. He absorbs information like a sponge when it comes to wrestling competition. Notice the way he's keeping that front chancery. Now, he's keeping his weight, his body weight and all, on Anthony. Anthony expending tremendous energy trying to escape. And Tommy just let him expend all the energy he wanted to. He had him in the position he wanted to until they got to the rope. Top wrist lock into a takedown. Rich again back on his feet. Hip lock takedown by Tommy Rich. Tommy, a very modest, unassuming young man. Another hip lock takedown. He has tremendous volatility, however. He will sometimes anger very, very quickly and suddenly explode on an opponent. And Rich retaliating in kind as Anthony caught him a cheap shot on the break. Anthony complaining to the referee, but to no avail. And I might add, really for no reason after what he did. Into a top wrist lock. Back leg trip by Rich takes Anthony back to the canvas. Into those ropes. And Rich was wary that time, watching for it. Anthony did not try to catch him on the break. Collar and elbow once again. And Anthony gaining the advantage. Rich reverses very quickly. Rich, good flying drop kick. Dropped Anthony to the canvas. Rich brings him up. Arm whips him off the rope. Caught him. Vertical body block. Well executed vertical body block by Tommy Rich. And if we can, we'll try and get a word with Tommy. See Ted DiBiase over there as well. And, all right. Well, I'll tell you one thing. First of all, Ted, I know you must be as excited and as pleased as we are about the honor that was achieved by Tommy today.
Hey, I couldn't be happier for you, Tommy. Congratulations on the win. I want to congratulate you on the presentation that we received today, and I want to be one of the first to welcome you back to Georgia. There's a lot of people, including myself, that are plenty happy to see you here. There's a lot going on in Georgia right now. There's a lot of cleaning house that needs to be done. And I can tell you this, I'm starting mine on the 29th in the Omni Freebirds and Michael Hayes. And this time I got my main man, Junkyard Dog, in the corner. And he's not going to be handcuffed to a ring post, Hayes. He's going to be running wild and howling at the moon. So be ready.
And you're going to be facing Ivan Koloff.
You know, before I talk about Koloff, Gordon, I'd like to say hi to all the people and just say it's good to be back in Georgia. And it's for Koloff, what it amounts to, it's America versus Russia, brother. And I'm ready, Gordon. You know, Ivan Koloff, I've had a run-in with him before anyway. So it ain't the first time I wrestled him. He's one of the toughest guys I've ever wrestled. And I'm just looking forward to it because I'm glad to be back in Georgia.
Well, it's certainly a pleasure to have Colonel Tommy Rich back with us, by golly.
Yes, Tommy.
And
do it, babe.
To you and the Junkyard Dog, I certainly hope that you're able to give the Freebirds exactly what they have coming to them.
A lot of changes made around here, Gordon. We're going to get it done.
There you have it. By all means, be sure and get your
advance. Say hi to all them pretty Georgia peaches, too, Gordon.
Figured he'd do it. Don't forget, tickets on sale at all seats locations.
This match will be one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first from New York, weighing in at 265 pounds, Big Jim Duggan. His opponent weighing in at 236 pounds, Mr. Wrestling number 2.
Wrestling 2 going up against Jim Duggan, and this should be quite a match indeed. Duggan, who as far as I can remember is undefeated basically here. Matching up with Wrestling 2, who is a ring-wise veteran. Duggan, by the way, great amateur background. New York heavyweight wrestling champion in the amateur ranks, played pro football. Ended his career with the Atlanta Falcons. Now back to his first love and his first sport, wrestling. Caught on a side headlock now by Wrestling 2. Good shoulders smash by Wrestling 2 into a hip lock takedown. Well executed. Wrestling 2, another man who's looking for that world heavyweight champion, Harley Race, and looking to meet him and defeat him for that title. As he has said, he wants to become the first masked world heavyweight wrestling champion. And a lot of people believe that's exactly what's going to happen. Wrestling 2 following the champion all over the country. Again, a hip lock takedown on Duggan. Into the ropes. Duggan bowling back. Missed with a wild right hand. Tried a cheap shot on the break, and Wrestling 2 ducked like a mongoose and was out of the way. And as Duggan charged that time, Wrestling 2 had him. Moved right in, caught him with a side headlock. And so Duggan is learning something today from Wrestling 2. Wrestling is just as mental and as psychological as it is physical. And you must have all three attributes at their very, very top gear if you're going to be successful. Wrestling 2 keeping that side headlock. Shoulder smash by Wrestling 2 put Duggan down. Wrestling 2 brings him up. Full body slam by Wrestling 2 into a lateral press. Duggan powers out before the count of 3. And Wrestling 2 on him right away. Into the ring ropes. The referee calls for the break. Again, a side headlock by Wrestling 2. Duggan has not been able to mount a very effective offense thus far. 2 has stayed right on top of him and has continued. Beautiful move by Duggan, and there shows you the tremendous strength that he has. And Duggan, very, very confident, very cocky. And what an insult to Wrestling 2, put him up on that top turnbuckle. And Wrestling 2 smarting somewhat over that situation, and perhaps we're seeing a change of attitude here with Wrestling 2. It had to be somewhat humiliating. Duggan is an extremely powerful man. Caught him mid-flight, then put him... Wow, now Duggan. Duggan now with those elbows, very effective. As 2 back into that turnbuckle, catches him a shoulder in the midsection, another shoulder. And Duggan across the eyes. And so Jim Duggan has suddenly put tremendous pressure on Wrestling 2 and has 2 in trouble. Forearm across the chest. Brings him up. Full body slam. Comes down with an elbow across the chest, and Duggan trying to turn the tide of this battle. Duggan complaining to the referee. Now Duggan with a foot to the shoulder. And Duggan really pressing for a win, and what an outstanding victory this would mean for Jim Duggan if he could stop the legendary Wrestling 2 or even hold him to a draw. But right now, all that's on his mind is defeating Wrestling 2. And he's got 2 in trouble here. Continues to press that advantage. A forearm against the chest. Missed that time, 2. Bobs away from it. Comes back a hard right hand to the midsection, 1 to the forehead. And now, Wrestling 2. Moves effectively, catches him a high backdrop. So Wrestling 2 has slowed the attack of Jim Duggan, a snap mare. No, sir. Duggan powers out before the count of 3. And again, Duggan has brought him up, and again, he has set him on that turnbuckle. Again, wow, he caught him with a knee. Wrestling 2 came off that second rope, caught him with a knee. And Mr. Duggan, who really thought he had things going his way, and it appeared for a moment, big double tough individual. But everybody was, of course,